one thing that I need to stress upon today is the fact that writing the paper is actually very important. Other than the fact that it is 5% of your marks, is actually a good practice for you to do, and it's good for your supervisor to get it published, and then it will be good for you in your long run in your career. If you can put a paper that is published in your resume, that gives you a one up from other people. Okay, not only are you skillful, you are also knowledgeable and able to write. So that's a good skill to have. So today we have actually your senior who's doing masters right now, inshallah going to be finishing soon, for Adelina Abdul Samad, and she'll be talking about, writing your paper and how best to do it. So without further ado, I call upon Puan Adelina.
Hope everyone can you see my slide. So actually, okay, so my name is Adina binti. So I am alumni SECR 2020, and today my sharing session is about the writing short paper. Right. So yeah. So the content of this workshop, which I will be highlighted, there are 6 parts. Okay, introductions, and the second part is the comparison thesis versus the short paper. The third is the structure in the short paper, and the fourth is the tips writing short paper, and the fifth sharing session, what next, and of course the last part is the Q&A session. So next is the introduction. So what is short paper? Okay, short paper you can refer as the compressed version of your final year project. Okay, from Miss Hazina. Okay, writing a short paper is more likely writing a story but in formal ways. Right. So the comparison between the thesis and the short paper, because I know all of you is doing your thesis. Okay, so you might not know about what is the structure on the short paper. So actually the thesis, okay, the most written for the education purpose to obtain your bachelor degree. Okay, compared to the short paper is actually you are written for the contribution in the specific area, okay, by you who are doing the research or doing the web-based system development and publish the paper. Okay, if in the specific for the thesis, it is broader and does not describe the subject or the topic deeply. However, the short paper is narrow and specific description of the subject matter. So if in thesis, you will be elaborate more on, for example, in the literature review, what you focusing on doing the web-based web development. For example, you want to focusing on what frameworks that you are using. However, in the short paper, it's just only focus, okay, the framework that you already use. For example, just Laravel, for example. Okay, so the reader here, compared from the thesis, reader is your supervisor and the examiners. Okay, and the short paper is a public. So public here means that everyone can access your paper and then they can see your contribution on your idea on the paper, so on how you write it. Okay, so the length of paper, of course, your thesis must be more than the short paper, because your thesis have to be elaborate more, because in order to you to obtain the bachelor degree. Okay, however, the short paper is just a compressed version of your final year project ideas. Okay, so 1 to 6 pages, and sometimes it could be more than 10 pages. Okay, so next is, okay, so I'll be sharing about the structure of the short paper. So this is on the web development system, and of course the first part, what you'll be doing is the abstract. So what is abstract? Abstract here is the short summary of your proposed system. Okay, so this is the structure. So I will discuss the structure first, and then we go to the tips on how to write the abstract. Okay, so the structure, the first structure is the abstract, and then inside the content is the introductions, which had you done in the chapter 1. Okay, and then the teacher review, in your thesis, chapter 2, 3, methodology, 4 is the proposed system, and then the 5th is the conclusion and recommendation. And the last part for the short paper, you need to have included the reference, okay? So for the research base, okay, for the research base, same, but the abstract, you need to be more focusing on the research domain. Okay, for example, if you are doing malware attack, so you need to be focusing on the malware attack, for example. And then they also have the 5 parts here, which is the first part, introduction, strategy review, methodology. The difference here between the web-based development, because the web-based development, number 4 part is more on the proposed system, but in the research base, because you not develop the system, so you need to be provided the result and analysis. And the 5th part, of course, is the conclusions. And lastly, not forget to conclude your reference. Okay, it is very important to include your reference inside the short paper. All right. So this is the template of the short paper, which I think Miss Hazina can be shared the link. Short paper. Okay. So
It's in the PSM website.
it's in the PSM website, so you can retrieve it or download it. Okay. So this is the title of the topic. And here, maybe this already have some sample here, but it's actually you can just based on just now the structure on how do you do it. Okay, if we go back here, you know the structure, you have 5 parts in the abstract. Okay, so next is the abstract. So tips on writing the abstract. Abstract is actually once you have finished your thesis, okay, so you can make a short summary, okay, for your finished thesis, okay, into the abstract. So if you want to write a proper abstract, you need to understand what's your purpose of the abstract. For example, for the system development, you need to start with a concise introduction, and then you need to describe the current system functionalities. And the third one is discuss the potential impact of the proposed system that you have proposed, okay? And you mention the technology or the methodology that apply. And then you need to highlight the enhance of the proposed system, okay? Compared to the research base here, you need to understand highlighting the objective, methodology, key findings, and conclusion. So same as here, but the research base, you need to start with a concise introductions, which is the problem background, and then you describe the method used, present the main result, okay, and state the conclusion. Okay, so this is the example of the abstract for the system development. If you can see, you start with the simple introduction first for the abstract, okay? And then you describe the current system functionalities, okay? And then third, you need to write the content of the potential impact of your proposed system, and mention what is the technology and methodology that apply in your proposed system. And you need to highlight the enhance of the proposed system. Meaning that you need to highlighted your proposed system is very, on which part is very better than the current system, okay? So this is for the system development. Okay, and then if you can see here the abstract, once you have done the abstract, you have the index. The index here is the one that when you want to search for the papers, okay, for example, this paper is more on the mobile application. When you type the mobile application, then it will be showing out the paper of the mobile application. And this is the one of the example, okay? So next is the research base. Okay, so research base here, okay, you need to understand the purpose, okay, what you need to write for the abstract. So you need to start with the concise introduction, which is the problem background, and describe the method used, present the main result, and state the conclusion. Okay, so if you can see here, the last here, the conclusion is the result. The research result display the random forest as the best machine learning algorithm in classifying the malware attack traffic. Okay, so this is the conclusion. Okay, once you have finished all your thesis, and then you know on how to write a proper abstract. Okay, right. So next is the introduction, the first part. Okay, Introduction here. Okay. For the system development, if you will be refer back on your chapter 1. Okay, how you write on your chapter 1, and of course a general sentence from the introductions. Okay, and then highlight at least 2 problem background. After that, you need to highlight at least 2 project scope, and then highlight the project importance and highlight the project aim. And this one is actually based on your thesis, how you highlight your problem background and how you highlight your project scope, and how you highlight your project importance and how you highlight your project aims. Okay. As for the research base, okay, actually this one, if you want to highlight at least 2 problem background or at least something that relate with the at least here, you can actually based on logical, it's not logical thinking, based on your understanding on how you want to be write the problem background and the research scope, okay, to make sure that the readers can be understand what you are trying to show. Okay, so you need to be highlight the research contributions and highlight the research aim, right? So at here, once you have done the introduction, actually the last paragraph, you need to include the structure of the paper. So what will be elaborate in all sections here. So if you can see this paper is structured, as follow. So for example, if you can see, later I will show to you the appropriate the paper. So you can see actually the section 2 here and section 3, section 4, you need to be elaborate in all section what you highlighted in your short paper. Okay, so this will be interest the reader to continue reading your paper. Okay, so for the literature review or related work, okay, so this is the second part. So you need to write for the system development, of course, focusing in the literature review, chapter 2, and you need to list all the system development that you have studied. But this part you can see at make a comparison between the existing and your proposed system. Okay, you can do a table. Okay, however, the research base here, you need to be focused. You also need to be focused back to your literature review, and you need to know that what you need to listed out all the related studies. Okay, for example, from the past paper or researcher that had conducted the research. Okay, and then you can also relate some your technique that apply in your research. So that one you can do as your related work, right? So for the third part, the methodology part here, okay, of course, for system development, you already know your methodology part. You can use the waterfall methodology or agile methodology, or you are more on focusing the SDLC life cycle. So, and then for the research base, you need to be focusing on your research methodology that conducted, your research framework, your research workflow, and explain the detail of the data set that you use. Okay, so next is, okay. So this is the proposed system which I will give you, for example. Okay, let's see. So this is the, for example, of the, okay. This is actually your senior papers, short paper, and then she able to publish, and then if you can see here, cited by 2, which is they are also another country to review your short paper. Okay, but in terms of this, you need to be published your short paper first. Okay, so that all the world can see your papers and can see your ideas here. Okay, so this is the one of the example of the web-based development. Okay, so this one, the short paper, if you can see here, you can see the introduction here. Later I will share to you this paper. Okay, and you can see this introduction is very simple, just a simple just a simple concise introduction. And then the part here is actually you need to be include of this one. which is the previous that I said that if you want to attract the reader to read more, so you need to be give the last paragraph, the structure of the paper. Okay, so at here you need to do like this. Okay, so this paper is structured as follows. So section 2 is represent as the related work, and then you can see here the section 3. For example, the section 3 is to represent as the methodology. So you can see this is the example of the paper. So if you can see here, I think I'm going too fast. It's okay. Okay. So we start at this one is the abstract. Okay. So after the abstract here, okay, you can see everything here. The conclusion, this project has successfully developed and tested to be able to track the child movement when the device is turned on and provide the child location reports on a monthly basis. Okay, so you can see the keywords here. Okay, so what is inside here? It's already mentioned GPS, okay, GPRS. Okay, you can do like this. And then are there any cloud? For example, cloud and mobile application, right? So this is the introduction. How the author write the introduction? He start with this general sentence first. Okay, so you can see, you can understand, or yes, you can agree with the general sentence. Okay, so yes, it's rising trends of the crime cases. Okay, especially involving the children, right? So after that, for the related work, okay, so related work is more on this one. I think is about the existing system. Okay, so you see here the work by, okay, this is one of the one that she already look for the papers that who do, I mean, who do the mobile application using the GPS and the SMS services. Okay, so this is the one related work. Okay, as for the existing system, let's see, this one, mobile monitoring and alert system. Okay, and then this one, and of course you can provide the table of the comparison between the related works. Okay, so I think every one of you will do the comparison between the existing system and current system, right? So this is the existing and this is the current system. Okay, so next is the methodology. So methodology here, the author did use the rational unified process. And then this methodology, you can look into your chapter 3, and then you can try to summarize your chapter 3, okay, into the better methodology part, okay? So at here, so you can see these the phases of the development framework, okay? So next is deployment and design. Okay, this one is more on the proposed system. Okay, how do you design for your proposed system? Of course, you need to put the use case model. Okay, for example, this one for the web-based development. Then you do the descriptions here, and the system architecture. Okay, the things that inside your proposed system. Okay, so if you can see, you can provide some images here. Okay, make sure that once you provide the images here, you need to be mentioned back the sentence, okay, using like this one, the overall view of the architecture can be seen in figure 3. So after that, you just provide the figure 3. What is the figure 3 here? This one is the figure 3, okay? All right, so next is the part of the result, okay? So result here is more on the one that you do the UAT test, UAT. User acceptance test, what else you can do that is tracking, for example, system result and achievement, okay? And then the last part is the conclusion, okay? So conclusion you can take from the chapter 5. So yeah, right, so this one, acknowledgement, okay? For acknowledgement, if you have, you need to be discussed with your supervisor. If you need, if you have the grant to support this research, you just mention back, and then don't forget to put your reference here. Okay, so this is the paper from the web-based development. Okay, so if you can see here, this one is already cited. This paper is already cited by two paper. So means that if you publish your short paper, the whole world can read your short paper. Okay, because this IG is actually a open source journal publishing. Okay, so next is the one. This is the for the research base. Okay, and of course research you cannot. The research is very different from the others because it's based on what you focus on the research. What is your focus for your research domain? Okay, so for example, this one. Okay, this paper, there are 5 people that cited for this paper. So you can see that once you do the short paper and then everyone will look into your paper and then they see that, oh, your paper has some contribution or any idea, new ideas here, and then they can try to link your idea to their papers. Okay, so see this one. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, right. So for example, so there's the abstract here. Then you do for the keywords. Okay, so what is your keywords focusing here? Normally you can try to do the technique, or the keywords here is more on the machine learning. Machine learning, IoT, malware, attack detection. Okay, this is the technique that had applied. Okay, so this is the introduction here. Okay, if you can see, you need to put a general sentence first. Okay, so what is IoT? So the author introduced the IoT first. Okay, after that, she linked with the problem background and the project scope, and then the aim of the research. Okay, so you see here, the research proposed to compare. Okay, and then this one, you need to have the structure as the follow. Okay, you can see that this paper is attract to the other readers to read it because we put the structure of the paper. Okay, so that the reader, once he or she to read the introduction, then he or she can know the structure of the paper. Okay, so after that, continue literature review. So what you need to do for the literature review that is relevant to your research, which is the internet link background, for example, and then this one. You need to be compress. Actually, it's more likely compress your literature review. Compressed version meaning that it's more on the summary, where you're writing too long a lot, right? So you just take out the importance that need to be highlighted in your short paper. Okay, so like this one, for example, and then she also put the technique. Okay, you can put the technique algorithms. Okay, you need to be once you write the paper here, you have to decide your title first, and then make sure that your paper, your written paper, is more on focusing back with your title, link with your title. Okay, you cannot do like, for example, you are using, for example, you are not using the IoT network traffic. Okay, but your paper is more on relating the IoT network traffic, for example. That so you need to be think back on how do you want to structure back your paper. Okay, so for okay, so after that you can, this one is more on the methodology on the data set, okay, but this author, she more focusing on the data set. Okay, so data set because she look for this one data set. Okay, and then she also provide the framework, the research framework. Okay, and then this part, the result. Okay. This one is the result here, everything. And then this one is the conclusion, limitation, you can put the limitation also, and then you can put the conclusion. Okay. Then the acknowledgement and the references. Also put for the suggestion for the improvement future needs. Acknowledgement, reference. Okay, there's a lot of reference. All right. So we continue for the slide. I hope all of you understand for this part. Okay. Yeah, I already touched. Okay, like for example, for this one, conclusion. Okay, you can highlight back for the system development, you can highlight back the objective proposed system and mention the importance of the proposed system and suggestion for the improvement of the proposed system. Okay, so for the last, for the research phase, you highlight back for the objective research, mention the findings of the research, briefly mention possible for further research based on your findings. This is more on the future direction. All right, so what next? Okay, after you already done the short paper, which is the compress of your final year project, the thesis, okay, you can try to discuss with your supervisor. You can try to publish your short paper in free access publisher or journal, or else you can also attend the conference. Okay, so this is from the UTM. Okay, we got the International Journal of Innovative Computing. Okay, so this one is no need to pay. It's a free. So if you have, if you want to be your idea sharing to whole world, you can try to make write the short paper and then publish inside the International Journal of Innovative Computing. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Puan Lina. Now, if you notice there, when you are writing a paper, whether it is a system development or a research paper, it is a bit different. Because in system development, you're talking about what you did to solve a problem. So you're creating a system or an application to solve a problem. In research, it's different because you want to talk about the domain area, you want to talk about the algorithm, you want to talk about your experiment, and then you will need to analyze and discuss the results that you get, you know, because you have a hypothesis. For example, if I say all cats are better than dogs, for example, that's my hypothesis. And at the end of the paper, I should be saying, is it? Is all dogs better than cats, for example? So that should be in the paper. Now, I don't know how many of you have started writing your papers already. Can I see a show of hands? How many of you have started the, writing your paper? Show me the thumbs up sign if you have started. Yeah. Don't cry. You just need to start. Okay? Nobody's going to write it for you. The longer you wait, what would happen is that you don't have time and you start copy pasting from your thesis. Now, the problem with this is that thesis is 100 pages. The paper is 6 pages. So how are you going to cram 100 pages into 6 pages? So if you copy paste, you would have something like a Frankenstein short paper, which is not good. Okay, so do you have any at all, like, you're not sure if your understanding is correct, you have a question, you have a doubt, you have whatever, do you have anything you can ask right now? We can bring the paper up and discuss that and point out things, whatever it is that you want to do. No? Oh, there is one. I have a question. A short paper needs to be done for PSM2, right? That is correct. Actually, it is compulsory for you to submit short paper in PSM2. In fact, in the marking of PSM2, short paper is 5%. And in PSM2, short paper is evaluated similar to the thesis. You have 2 evaluators that will evaluate your short paper. Now, for all SCSR students, for SECR students, all of you SECR students, PSM2, it is compulsory for you to submit your paper to IJIC. I am making it compulsory for you to submit your paper to IJIC. Okay? It is a good practice to have. So you need to write better so that your supervisor is not, having a headache after you leave. Okay? So we need to do that. at the end of the day, you need to leave your mark in the world. And your mark is by giving this paper out. You'll be surprised. I have a student like 3, 4, 5 years ago, and I still get people. Oh, I have people who have like looked up the paper, reading the paper. That was a PSM paper. And how many people have that student help buy that paper because people are referring to that paper? Okay. And also I have to say I am proud a little bit lah, that I cannot lie, right? It's good to see your students say, oh, look at this, so many citations. Oh, they are referring to my student, UTM student. So we lecturers have the little proud moment as well. But it is about you anyways. So, I'm sorry, I'm going out of the thing a little bit, but yeah, you do have to write the paper. One thing I would like to point out, and Puan Adina, if you agree or disagree, you let me know. In the short paper, what you need to do is you need to sort of like summarize your thesis. You need to say, you see, I found this problem. I'm proposing this solution. I did the solution, and yes, it solved the problem. That's the narrative. That's the story in the paper. What's the problem? Introduction. What's the proposed solution? In introduction. And then how did you do it? I did some research research in literature review, and then I planned things out, the methodology, and then I did everything, and I'm telling you how it works, the discussion. And then you say, wow, it works in the conclusion. See, it's a story. The story can be the same for system development and also the same for research. The only difference is how you write the story. Right? So if you're writing, I don't know whether you guys are into animes or into cartoons or into movies or whatever, you don't write the script for a comedy movie the same as you write the script for a thriller movie. Right? It's different. So it's the script for software development and also for, research, different. You know how to do this. The only problem I see every semester is that students put it up to the last minute and then they copy paste. Okay? So is the new thesis format already uploaded? The new thesis format is there. Thesis format and paper format different here. Thesis format, you won't find it in IGIC. IGIC is a journal, International Journal of Innovative Computing. So in IGIC, you have a template for the IGIC paper. In the PSM website, you have the thesis template that is given by UTM and also the IGIC template. You can also find it in the PSM website. 2018. No, if there is the latest one, I will tell you that there is the latest one. What is in the PSM website is the latest that we have. Trust me, I know. I am the one that is managing the website. Ham. Okay? Anything else? This session is actually to help you guys out. So you need to tell me if it helped you, and if you have problems, let me know. This is what we'll do while you are thinking about the question. What we're going to do is that we're going to give you the link to the papers in IGIC. Okay? You can actually go look into IGIC. You'll find a lot of papers. Okay? You'll find a lot of papers. But these two is kind of like a good example. One, because one is software development, the other one is research. Two, because it is the paper from SecR student. So it is very related to you. So I give you the links to that you can go find the paper. Now, are all the paper in IG great? Not so much. Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. It's subjective, okay? It's subjective. There are papers that I see in IG and I'm like, wow, this paper is really good. There are papers in there I say, I would have rejected this paper. But hey, it's different, right? Right, don't worry about whether or not it will be accepted, but right. But then again, don't write like, as the Malay says, melepaskan batuk di tangga. If I directly translate that, it will be coughing at the side of the stairs. No, it's not. It's basically like doing it blasely, like, no, as long as I have something, I'm just going to submit. Don't do that. Put some thought into it, okay? You guys, especially PSM2, after this, you guys are leaving UTM into the real world. In the real world, people are not going to coddle you like your lecturer. Yes, Miss Hazina is very, very strict, but she does still help you out. Okay? In the real world, people don't do that so much. Okay. So again, I open if you have any questions. Going once, going twice. Okay. This has been a very short session of short paper. I guess it is, very similar to short paper and short session. All right then. So inshallah, I will share with you the recordings, and then hopefully you start writing. Please do start writing. Don't stop. Okay. To Puan Island, thank you very much for sharing your information. She has written a lot of papers. If you saw that, one of the papers was hers. Okay. So, and good luck to Puan Adelina. She's finishing her master's by research soon. Okay. So let us all, send some positive thoughts to her. And I will end the session here. Thank you very much, everyone. And goodbye.